I am not leaving that in. Okay.
The internet, Mike has the biggest face, the biggest smile on his face right now.
Oh man, it's that time again. Are you ready?
Yagami time, come on, grab your internet.
Oh goodness.
What are we doing?
Okay, so previously, terrible lesbian sex scenes.
Oh yes.
Today though, we are on to chapter 5, we meet Yotsuba. And Matt!
The way you say it makes it seem like it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to get better.
It's not going to get better. It's not.
It gets worse. And then you kind of accept it, and it opens up a whole new world of amazing.
You just learn to not question things anymore. Just let the Dark Yagami happen.
Okay.
I am ready. So, chapter 5, we meet Yotsuba and Matt. Flashback yesterday! Flashback yesterday! Matt got on his motorbike and was racing across the country faster than a speeding bullet. His goggles were flapping in the wind and his mission was clear. He would revenge the death of Mello if it was the last thing he did. He went even faster on his motorbike because it would be dark soon, and he couldn't see anything except the light bits because of his headlights. It was a 3,000-mile drive, and the speed limit was like 30, and he knew that if he was going to get where the action was, that he would have to be going fast, and went faster. So it's a 3,000-mile drive between Wales, small town in England, and America.
The distance probably isn't far, but I'm sure there needs to be like a boat or a canoe involved there somewhere.
Didn't you notice the big motorway just connecting the two countries across the Atlantic?
Gosh, that needs to be a thing.
Hilariously, it would start in Wales, probably.
Yeah, true.
Suddenly, he stopped suddenly. He saw the taillights of a Porsche up ahead, and the driver was laughing like mad, and something about his car just didn't seem right somehow. He stepped on it and did a wheelie because the road was abandoned, and because he was going fast, the wind running past his ears like a NASCAR on steroids, only faster.
God damn, that's fast.
He got out his gun and shooted at the back window of the Porsche. It shattered and swerved all over the road, and Matt had to yell, "What are you doing, you F-King psycho?" and jumped in the back window. I'm sorry, is Matt English?
Yes, I would suppose that he is.
The hell are you doing, you F-King psycho?
Much better.
The driver was a tall, skinny man with greasy hair called Yotsuba, and he was laughing and driving and writing something in his book as he drived. Matt looked at the book even closer, and he noticed something to his horror. It was a death note! Flashback a bit later that day. Wait, what?
Blood is commentating.
Later, as Yotsuba got to the end of the road, Matt made his move, and he jumped in driver's seat and grabbed the wheel. Yotsuba screamed like a little girl, only manlier, because he was big and covered his face with his arms. The car crashed into a wall and exploded in a ball of flame. One of the drivers died instantly, and the other stole the death note and jumped back on his motorbike and drove off. It was da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You'll have to find out later, P.
So how exactly did the motorbike get parked when he jumped in the back window of a speeding car?
Anime?
Oh yeah, you've got me there, actually.
Present day! Light, what the F-King hell were you F-King doing killing Naomi and Mikami? Screamed Dark as he punched Light in the gut pretty hard, and Light screamed. I had to do it or they would have said our names to the police and we'd be arrested, he replied. Oh, okay, said Dark, clamming down a bit and putting his shirt back on.
Whoa, wait, what?
Hey, it's cool. It's not like they're gay or anything.
Oh, okay. I'm relieved.
It's okay, the author has confirmed it. But we need to take more care in the future, Dark added as Light rubbed lotion on his sore tummy. Blood came in the doorway. I have bad news, Matt survived the car crash, he said madly as he chowed down on a blood banoffee pie that Misa had made earlier because she was a good cook, from the TV at least in the movie. What car crash? Said Light. His gut was really hurting, and also it was bruised bad too. Oh, I didn't tell you my Death Note can also kill people in the past, and I'm gonna write his name in it in the future to kill him in the past, and stop him stealing the Death Note, said Dark, pointing to his royal Death Note. Then why is Blood telling me now, not in the future? Light said as he scratched his head. It's one of those time paradox they have in Back to the Future, Dark replied, and picked up his Death Note. He picked up the Death Note and wrote, Matt dies yesterdays in a car crash. And the Death Note glowed a funny colour, which meant it was doing stuff in the past.
Wait, why would you write it down if it didn't work? And why would you write it down before the time you wrote it down where it didn't work if it wasn't going to work?
I don't think you've watched Back to the Future enough, young man.
I'm sorry.
That's better.
I don't understand any of this.
Do not understand basic time travel.
I'm sorry, I missed that module, okay?
Time
I studied business. It was dull.
Time travel and murder 101. Meanwhile in the past! So what's wrong with this?
Read along at home, children.
Yes, read along at home, please. Suddenly, Matt was back in the car, and before he knew what the hell was happened, he jumped and grabbed the steering wheel, and the car crashed again, but this time Yotsuba survived, and he climbed out just before there was a big explosion that was like 10 times the size of a normal explosion, because the Death Note had done magic to it, and threw bits of Matt all over the road.
Aww.
It was a sick sight, not least because the bits of Mac were squishy in places, and his goggles were on fire, and so was his hair, and there was blood all over the road, which made Yotsuba lose his lunch, and that made things even sicker.
We get it.
Yotsuba picked up Matt's PSP and decided to take it with him to play with on the train. It's a 3,000-mile drive and he just says, screw this, I'm taking public transport.
Plot point, maybe.
Maybe? Oh goodness. He laughed evilly again and took Matt's motorbike and drive to the railroad where he took a train to Light's town. Back in the future! L looked at the Death Note Sayu had stolen from Misa. There were some rules in the front, but he figured how it worked anyway because he was a genius and worked it out. He picked up a pen from the desk and said, Time to test this bad boy out. He opened the book and wrote, Light's Mom! Next chapter coming and it'll be pretty intense, so watch it! Also review, please.
No, not Light's mom. Not the nameless character which we all love so much.
Review!
Oh, God.
Oh man, chapter 6.
Okay, I'm ready. Chapter 6. Maybe last chapter or not.
Ooh.
This is probably the last chapter, though I may add some more after. It all depends whether people like it. This is probably the last chapter, though I may add some more after. It all depends whether people like it. Vote! What the F are you doing, Ryuzaki? Shouted Light's dad at L as he wrote his wife's name in the Death Note. Don't worry, I have a plan, but I hope this works, he replied as he pulled a second Death Note out of his bag, but this one was glittery and white and made of silk, and said Life Note on the front.
No!
Yes! Ah, precious memories returning to me. In Light's and Dark's house! Light's mum jumped through the door and said in a strange voice that was not hers, I am L. I know that you are Kira Dark Yagami and I'm going to reveal it to the world and then arrest you later. Holy shit, muttered Dark as Light's mum danced around the room under the control of the Death Note which was making her say all these things. Also, I am not dead. Your plan to kill me failed because I am smart enough to make Soichiro on my side. She continued, though it wasn't her saying all this crazy stuff, it was L using the Death Note. Light's mom pulled a knife out of her apron and held it against Dark and said, I don't have the evidence yet, but if you come with me to the warehouse, then I think we can come to an agreement. Then she fell over and died of a heart attack. L, you F-King maniac! You killed my whiff! Light's dad...
No!
Light's dad yelled as loud as he could, which was pretty damn loud because he was a cop. Not so fast, replied the short, messy detective man, and wrote, Light's mom comes back to life in the Life Note. There was a blinding flash of light and a noise like a bunch of angles signing. And Light's mom got up and came back to life. You're alive, cheered Soichiro as he clomped Light's mom to the ground. But what's going on back at Dark's house?
But wait, where's Light's mom in all this?
Huh?
Because, like...
I don't know where she is.
He just glomped her, but it's like, it's a Dark's house, right?
They're all at Dark's house.
Just in the lounge.
Why is she there? she was going to drive him home or something.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Where are we? There we are. WTF? Shouted Light. We have to go to the warehouse again, but this time we don't have Mikami, he shouted. Calm down, Light, Dark said. I have another plan, and this will end the story once and for all. They went to the warehouse, and Elle was waiting for them there. Nia was there as well, and he was playing with some toy robot or something. I don't know, it's not really important. And the rest of it is... I have come of my own free will, but it appears that it was not needed for you to have not proved that I'm Kira. That's where you're wrong, Elle replied. You don't have any evidence that I'm Kira, said Dark triumphantly. But you came here. That proves you are Kira, Elle decried. Dark was so shocked that he fell to the floor screaming. How could he have given himself away so easily? But he still had his trump card waiting in his pants. He reached into his pocket and took the Royal Death Note out of his pocket. He didn't know Elle's name, but he didn't have to. He wrote Elle in the book, and straight away the detective fell over and started dying. How are you doing this? Asked Elle forcefully as he rolled on the floor suffering heart attacks and pain. Because my Shinigami is the king of the Shinigami, and has the power to kill anyone even if you don't know their name. At that moment, Blood appeared in front of Dark and said, That's why you're wrong, my shiny-haired apprentice! You see, I only had pretended to be your Shinigami, but in fact, I was Elle's all along! I gave him a life note, and all I have to do is write Elle's name in it, and he will come back to life as good as new, and your plans will have been foiled! Elle wrote Elle Loliette in the life note and jumped back to his feet. He looked mad to say, Okay, that proved that you were because you killed me! Elle put the handcuffs on Dark. Now I have put an end to your reign of terror, Kira. I hope our paths never cross again. Blood then whispered in Dark's ear, I don't actually work for Elle. He only thinks I do, when really I work for you.
Well, he stopped shouting, he sounds kind of
Fancy going down the pub later, mate.
Oh, okay, right point. Yeah. A nice lass.
Nice pint of lager. Fruity's on as well, will be awesome.
Oh, okay. It's alright, you can get as drunk as you want, we got a life note, mate.
God. Dark replied, I know. Everything went exactly as planned. In prison?!
Exactly as planned.
Prison life was good to Dark because he was Kira and everyone in prison was his butch. Butcher.
Butcher?
Yeah, butcher. Let's go with that. He could eat lots of prison food, and because he had given Elle a fake Royal Death Note and not the real one, he could hypnotize prisoners into doing illegal stuff for him and then dying without the guards catching on. Then one day he wrote the names of everyone in the prison and all the guards and stuff too and made them dig a tunnel out. When Elle found out, he was mad. How did he escape the prison? Elle asked ponderously as he chewed a big old mouth of gummy candy and gum. Then he looked at the Royal Death Note and noticed it was a fake and got even madder. I'll get you, Dark Yagami, if it's the last thing I do, he cried. Meanwhile, at the Yagami house... Welcome back, Dark, said Light's mom, who didn't remember all the dying and mean stuff she said earlier. Also, he had blood wipe Soichiro's head so he would forget too. Me and Misa are going steady, said Sayu to Dark. Want a threesome? She winked. Better make it a foursome, joked Light Yagami, and everyone laughed. The end! Miles away, Yotsuba was just getting off his train holding the death note he had stolen from Matt. Now the party can really begin. Or is it?
What the hell? Better make it a foursome.
Oh god. This fanfiction, man.
Okay.
Okay.